The application for U.S. citizenship, known as Form N-400, is among the immigration forms for which an applicant can request a fee waiver. Fee waiver application consists of Form I-912, which you will need to submit to USCIS together with your application and supporting documents. Eligibility for a fee waiver. You likely can receive a fee waiver if you can show that you fall within one of three groups. First, you may be eligible for a fee waiver if your spouse, the head of your household, or you are receiving a government benefit because of your low income or assets. This is known as a means-tested benefit. Examples of means-tested benefits include food stamps, Medicaid, and supplemental security income. Another way to qualify for a waiver involves showing that your household income does not exceed 150% of the current federal poverty guidelines when you ask for the waiver, based on your household size. You will need to multiply the amounts in the federal poverty guidelines by 1.5. Then you will need to calculate your household size by identifying everyone who depends on your income, or the income of your spouse or head of household. Parents and unmarried children under 21 who live with you will count as part of your household. Children with special needs due to disabilities also likely are part of your household. Any other people listed as dependents of your spouse, your head of household, or you on tax returns likely will qualify as part of your household. More generally, you can get a waiver if you can show that you are dealing with a serious financial hardship that prevents you from paying the application fee. A financial hardship may arise from a medical emergency, for example, or perhaps job loss or an eviction. Impact of a fee waiver request on eligibility for naturalization. Before you ask for a waiver, you should be aware that your request, in some cases, adversely affect your application for citizenship. One of the eligibility requirements involves showing that you have good moral character. While poverty does not show a lack of moral character, USCIS might examine the record of an applicant who is receiving public benefits to determine whether they are receiving any of those benefits unlawfully. This would be considered fraud, which would suggest that they lack the necessary moral character. Meanwhile, USCIS might find that an applicant who has filed for bankruptcy or who has credit judgments against them has exploited the U.S. economic system. This might show that they do not have good moral character, especially if they are failing to pay off their debts. Some people who are facing financial difficulties fail to keep up with child support obligations. A failure to pay child support, regardless of the reason, can result in a finding that an applicant lacks the necessary moral character. Even if your waiver request does not affect the merits of your application, you should know that it may lengthen the processing time. This is because USCIS will need to review the fee waiver request separately before it reviews the overall application. If USCIS denies the fee waiver request, it will not review the application until you have paid the filing fee. It will return the application materials to you and refrain from entering their receipt in its records. How to apply for a USCIS fee waiver. Step 1. Complete Form I-912. To apply for a fee waiver, you must submit Form I-912. Request for fee waiver to USCIS with the rest of your application packet by mail. You cannot complete the request for a fee waiver online. USCIS will only accept the paper version of the form. You can find most recent version of the form on USCIS's website. If you're applying as a family, each member applying must complete a Form I-912. Form I-912 is relatively easy to fill out and shouldn't take long. Once you finish, don't forget to sign where requested. USCIS will reject your fee waiver request if you do not sign your Form I-912. Parents and legal guardians can sign the form on behalf of children applying who are 14 years old and younger. Legal guardians can also sign for applicants who have a physical or mental disability that keeps them from signing for themselves. Step 2. Gather supporting documents to prove your income level. Once you have completed Form I-912, it is time to gather the supporting documents listed in the Form I-912 instructions. These documents show your financial need to USCIS and are essential to getting a fee waiver. Step 3. Submit fee waiver request with your application paperwork. When you have completed and signed the fee waiver request Form I-912, attach it to the rest of the immigration application and supporting documents you're submitting. You cannot submit the fee waiver form separately. You must submit it with the USCIS form for which you want a fee waiver. Step 4. Wait for USCIS to approve or deny your fee waiver request. A USCIS approval of your fee waiver request isn't the same thing as approval for your immigration application. USCIS will process your immigration application separately. If USCIS approves your fee waiver request, that means that you will not have to pay any filing fees for your application. If USCIS denies your fee waiver request, you will need to pay the required filing and biometrics fees. They will send you a notification explaining how, when, and where to pay these fees. Make sure that you do so as soon as possible, or they may reject your application.